Cecil B. DeMille Award, Mr. Martin Scorsese. Martin.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. So,
Why did he choose Andre the Toad?
where's that coming from?
For the,
Ah, to my left. Huh? Okay. It's we're able to in a case like that find the original elements, and they need restoration, and so the top for me has always been one of my favorite directors in the sense that the films he made, some of them were considered B films or genre films, and they always stayed in my mind. I didn't remember the name until the 60s when I started to put it all together. He had a very, very strong personal vision, I think. He was a very interesting man. Got to know him towards the end of his life. Fascinating man. But he made films in Hungary, and for the World Cinema Foundation, that's one of the films we're going to be doing this year, the film he made, and also a film from Kazakhstan called Revenge. Yes. Yes.
After such a long and successful career, what else would you like to achieve?
It's well, I think it's really just concentrating on story and the kind of films I'd like to make, the stories I'd like to tell in new ways if I can find new narrative form, and I tend to play with that in the documentaries that I make. Yes, sir.
What was it like to receive the award from Robert and Leo? Are they your two favorite actors to work with?
Well, I naturally they represent the key work that I've done the past 30 years, especially in the formative work with Bob, and I think I've done 4 pictures so far with Leo this past decade, and they're like, you know, major collaborators and great friends.
After such a long and successful career, sir, right here in the middle, hi. What advice do you have for young people who want to get involved in writing or directing or in the film business in general?
It depends. It depends if they have a passion to say something or to feel they have to make a film, otherwise they can't breathe. Then it's just they will do it. They will find a way, especially now with this new technology, because cinema is changing completely. Avatar is really showing the way in so many different changes, almost as important as when sound finally in 1927 was applied to the motion picture. So that that's a world that I'd like to be a part of. I don't know if I can, but for the younger people, the main thing, it doesn't matter what the technology is, it's the passion and also the stamina to keep going, because you get knocked down and you have to come back and you get knocked down again and that sort of thing.
You know, the technology, it also, right here, the technology also allows the younger filmmakers to start at a younger age and have more capabilities right in front of them.
Yes.
What are the skill sets that someone like you, who's been working in the business for quite a while, what can you share with them in terms of basically specific technical capabilities and stuff like that? What should they be trying to do?
I think they're going to find their own ways to tell a story. I mean, right now there are young people making films on computers that they don't even they're not making for an audience. Making for themselves.
Would you say then story then?
Story, I think it's always story, whether you're looking at a painting by Rothko or a film by Stan Brakhage or a film by James Cameron, it's story.
So if you had, someone said you can't make films anymore, how could you then, what would you then do?
Me?
Yeah.
It's a good question. No, I wish I could compose music and play music. I wish I could write, but it's if it's something I think I would probably continue with preservation, continue working and teaching. I like teaching.
So would you tell stories? Would you tell stories?
Oh, I tell a story all the time.
Yeah.
The classes will be about telling stories.
Excellent.
Okay.
Hey, Ted from me up front. There's been a reluctance tonight for people to discuss Tiger Woods, and you've been so good at... Wait a minute. I am going someplace really important here. You're a genius at taking on beloved, iconic, complex figures. Would you ever consider taking on that story?
But I think that's a story that's universal. I think it doesn't have to necessarily be Mr. Woods. It could be a number of different people in history. It's being human. That's the story. I'm always interested in characters that of very, very different types of pictures. You know, I mean, take a look at the films I made, and yeah. So that's the idea. Yes.
Feinberg, I wondered what you make of this year's crop of Best Director nominees. You've got James Cameron, like we talked about, for a new kind of filmmaking. Catherine Bigelow could be the first woman to ever win Best Director for a movie that, a war movie, not necessarily what people might expect. Jason Reitman, a young guy. Lee Daniels might make history, become the first black director.
Yeah,
Just your thoughts.
No, it's very exciting. It's very exciting. The films are all quite, I mean, to be bland, I don't want to be bland, but the films are, in praising them all, there are different ways of looking at these pictures, that all different kinds of films. What I mean by that is different genres in a way, different energy, different philosophy, but also, interestingly enough, the technique is all different. So this is all very exciting, to see these pictures right now. And it's a very special time.
Here in the back.
Yes.
No, there you go, right here. I'll stand up so you can see me.
Yes.
In the past, whenever I've interviewed people that are in your movies, one of the things they always say is that they took the role because they wanted to work with you. So your past 3 or 4 movies, has anyone turned you down for an on-camera role?
Well, yes. I mean, and a lot of that has to be timing, and has to be also maybe the role isn't big enough, maybe the role isn't significant enough. They'd rather work together on something with me, which has more depth to it, and more energy. You know. So yes, I have been turned down. Yes.
And then do they get that opportunity after turning down the smaller role?
I'd like to try. Yes, definitely. Okay, so
to ask you, could you talk about this award being so much about your contribution, your whole body of work? Can you talk about, have you in your mind lived your dream doing what you've done?
I did. You're right. I did dream about making films. I didn't know how pictures were made. Maybe I still don't, in a sense, in terms of when Kurosawa said film, he's just beginning to get, when he got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Oscars, he said, I'm just beginning to get the idea what films are, you know? And or what it could be. So maybe I missed the time. I don't know, but I think I've taken it as far as I can. I'm trying to find new ways.
Over here to your left. Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your new film, Shutter Island? It was initially supposed to be released this year, and it was going to be a part of these amazing films released this year. Why wasn't it? And tell me about what you did in that extra time.
The Paramount decided that it would be better to release it in February. I think they have their own reasons, and it was in the trades. Why? I think you should read that article, because I don't want to say anything that might be not accurate. In the meantime, finishing directing and editing a documentary on George Harrison, and also one on Fran Lebowitz, and also an HBO pilot called Boardwalk Empire. And I directed that in July. And it's an hour and a half, and stars Steve Buscemi, Kelly MacDonald, Michael Shannon, Michael Pitt. And it's a lot of fun.
Mr. Scorsese?
Thank you. That's it. Okay, thank you. Thank you.